the little brief time I have, I want to acknowledge the presence of the ambassador from the Ukraine, and I also reiterate my condemnation of the illegal invasion of the Ukraine. The Taoiseach, or the Taoiseach, gave a very long speech, 12 pages, and he says 2 years on, tragically, it seems we are no closer to peace. I would say more than tragically, deplorably, we have utterly failed to use our voice to bring peace, not just in the Ukraine, which is appalling slaughter going on there, but throughout the world. And again, I would absolutely reiterate what my colleague has said at the contrasting approaches from Europe in relation to the deaths in Gaza and Palestine and the deaths in the Ukraine. And we cannot compare deaths nor numbers. Although it's extraordinary in a 12-page speech, we don't get any details at all on the appalling slaughter in Ukraine, how many people have actually died and suffered, and in Russia as well. I would say, when he tells us that he's not doing away with our neutrality, I'm not one bit reassured, because all of the time that neutrality concept has become more and more flexible. And I would just quote, as a neutral, independent, sovereign state, we should be your voice at every level to bring peace to the Ukraine. And of course, the Ukraine people must determine the conditions for that peace and what's necessary. But our voice must be used to push for that peace. 2 years later, we're looking at utter slaughter, and the only people making money here are the arms industry. Equally in Palestine, arms industry all over this. And let me quote, we just utterly fail to learn. And I'm particularly concerned that Ireland is giving away something without learning anything at all. Bertrand Russell, who lived an extraordinary long life, philosopher and mathematician, and the Nobel Prize, recipient of the Nobel Prize, he said a long time ago, our world has sprouted a weird concept of security and a warped sense of morality. Weapons are sheltered like treasures, while children are exposed to incineration. Unfortunately, that's as applicable today as it ever was if we're talking about the Ukraine and the illegal invasion by Russia, equally by the invasion by Israel of Palestine and Gaza. And yes, Ceann Comhairle, I absolutely put on the record that our credibility is at stake if we deal with one war differently than another war. And that's exactly what this country has been doing. It has taken almost 30,000 deaths and inordinate amount of people injured to get us to write a letter with the Spanish Prime Minister, or whoever the person was.
Thank you, Deputy.
Yes, I will stop, but there was an interruption, Ceann Comhairle, and both of us lost our train of thought in relation to it. But it took all of those deaths and all of that to make us right and take that little bit of action.